Alright, huge movie fanatic Nate coming right back at you on July 8th, 2014. Before I begin this review, I just wanted to take time to thank everyone who commented and watched that celebrating 3 years of Huge Movie Fanatics video and all the nice comments I got. It was really unexpected and very nice to get those comments about some of the subscribers and viewers who've watched over the months and years, and I'm glad you guys enjoy the reviews. And as I said in that video, the plan is, if nothing else, for me to continue doing this because, you know, I guess I kind of enjoy it, being a huge movie fanatic myself, and I can never really talk too much about movies. So one of my subscribers, or one of the subscribers, I mean, I don't know, I guess it's me and Matt kind of started this channel, so I guess it's not my subscribers, it's one of, we'll just say one of these subscribers and viewers of this channel, Huge Movie Fanatics. Will Powell here on YouTube commented asked if I could review any Steve McQueen movies, and I said I'll see what I can do. And I don't have a whole hell of a lot. I haven't seen a whole hell of a lot of Steve McQueen movies, but one that came to mind that I have, I got originally on DVD and I think '97, and then I subsequently got on Blu-ray, which is The Getaway from 1972. This movie is 42 flippin' years old now. It's unbelievable, and it's The Getaway. And of course, I first saw the remake in the mid-90s or whatever when the remake came out with Kim Basinger and what was her husband's name? Alec Baldwin and James Woods. Because I know that when that came out on video, it was a big deal because it came out, I think, in an R-rated but also an unrated version. Of course, that was a big deal for a teenager at the time. It was kind of like softcore porn with Kim Basinger, so I kind of, as a teenager, kind of sought that movie out just for that reason. So I did see the remake of The Getaway first, of course, not knowing, being a arrogant, you know, teenager, not knowing it was a remake. So I just thought I'd briefly say that. And then I think in 1997 is kind of the year when more or less DVDs debuted, Blu-ray DVDs more or less debuted, and I you know, The Getaway from 1972 was one of the first Warner Brothers DVDs, in that little goofy, which they swore they were going to keep doing forever. That stupid, I don't know how to even explain it, like the cardboard cover with the plastic snap thing, and it was the stupidest case ever. And that Warner Brothers, I think Warner Brothers, like, you know, a New Line, which of course was, I think, part of Warner Brothers, was the only bastards that were doing that stupid case. It was like it was the stupidest DVD case ever. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but you probably do. So The Getaway I first saw in 1997, getting into Sam Peckinpah because, you know, over the years of being a John Woo fan, of course, and listening to commentaries of Hard Boiled and stuff, you know, John Woo was influenced by many filmmakers, and a big one was Sam Peckinpah, of course, which of course interested me. It's like, holy shit, you know, someone actually influenced. It'd be really interesting to see who influenced, you know, John Woo's amazing style at the time. Is some of his last Hong Kong stuff, you know. And of course, when you watch Peckinpah stuff, I haven't seen like a whole lot, actually, surprisingly enough. But when you watch stuff like The Wild Bunch and The Getaway and the action scenes, you can definitely see where John Woo takes Peckinpah's style and, you know, kind of makes it his own a little bit and stuff like that, in terms of the action and the slow motion and stuff like that. So The Getaway stars Steve McQueen, and I want to say Ally McGraw or something like that as his wife. And I think his name is, I think they call him Doc for some reason, and I mean, he's not a doctor, I don't think. It's just some kind of a nickname or whatever. I don't know why they call him Doc, but they do. And it starts with this really cool, you know, where Steve McQueen's character Doc is in prison, and starts with this really cool, gosh, I should rewatch this. Well, ideally you should rewatch it before you review it, but I kind of have it ingrained in my head. But it starts with a really cool like a montage of like sounds like him in prison, and kind of shows the months and years or however long, and well, it must have been years he was in prison, and it just shows you the tedious repetitivity, and it's like, all right, get that brush on that pile, light that bonfire, all right, pull it up there now, all right. And this is like 72, and it's obviously way before, like, I mean, I don't know, way before when movies are still kind of cool in the sense of, I got a mosquito, yeah, right. In the sense of they're just, I don't know, they have souls to them, and they're not just corporate digital frickin', like marketing devices to just, put product placement in like Transformers 4, Although, I'm not going to say that there's not shots of Coke machines and stuff. I guess I'm just biased because it's like a 1972 movie, and but it is not as, it is more for me soulful of a movie than something you would, than the stuff that you'd get now, and then the Sam Peckinpah behind, in charge of the project made it pretty darn great. But the opening, it really, and he uses the sound of like the little whatever the hell device in the making whatever the shop, when he's making cloth or whatever, the woven basket. I don't know what he's making, fabric or something, where it's like just that what's that? Oh, it's like weird looking. It's just sun on the background. It's like weird looking. Okay, so I'm spending way too much time on the opening credits, but through the opening credits it gives you an idea of just his life in prison or lack thereof, and just like just the monotony, and just like get me the hell out of here. And it's great because when he walks towards the end of the credits, or at the end of the credits, or after, and when he walks through the door, and it's like that sound is portraying going through the whole opening credits, and when the door opens for him to actually get out, it's like and the sound stops, and it's like he's free, During that montage too, it's like he applied for, I think, parole once or something like that and got rejected. So it's a really cool opening credits to show just the years and just the toil of just being in prison in general, And he gets out, and it's just like, I don't know how long, I haven't seen it for a little bit, but I don't know how long he's been in. But he's been in long enough where once he gets out, he's not able to actually get it up to screw his wife, Ally McGraw, and there's this really cool thing right at the beginning, right after they try to do it, and he can't get it up. I'm assuming he can't. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. He's like, it does something to you in there. I don't know, it does something, and he's got this kind of great, I'm not the biggest Steve McQueen fan in the entire world, because, for me, he was a little too, like, macho and tough, and for my taste. But I mean, he's I like him. I don't love him. I generally tend to go for people that have like performers who aren't afraid to like show personality. I think he felt like showing comedic side or personality or something was weak. I mean, he was one of these tough guy kind of guys, so you can't, I don't know, he's a victim of his own personality. You can't fault him for that. So, like I say, I haven't seen a lot of Steve McQueen, but I don't imagine he ever did roles where he was like, oh, goofing around. So, but I always remember that, like, after the first time I seen it, like, sitting in bed, and just, I can't get it up. He doesn't say that, but that's the gist of the scene. He's like, it does something to you in there, and she's like, there's, we've got all the time in the world, Doc, there's no rush. And I think before they even went home, they did this cool thing. This takes place in Texas, so it's all hot and stuff. This heat is just driving me crazy. I don't know if I could take much more of this. That's from a 40-year-old movie made in Texas called, with the movie Texas in the title, and also Massacre and Chainsaw in the title, those words. So, so what I was saying is, before they even go home, they do this great thing where they show him for the first time. He's been out of prison for years. They go to this one, whatever, water hole or river or something like that, and there's this really cool scene where it's like he's looking at people doing stuff in the water or whatever, and he has this imagery of him jumping in the water and his wife jumping in the water, and doing all this and that, and holding each other and all this and that, and they cut back to him smiling, and back to the thought, and back to him smiling. And the scene's really cool because it ends with him starting to take off for the water, and then his wife follows, and it's just like cuts. You know what happened. So it's this real cool way of like showing what's going to happen in his thoughts, and then starting to run for the water, and just cutting to them coming in the door all wet. It's really great, just really cool, whatever. I'm spending a lot of time on just scenes, but the movie is basically, I don't know if I'm gonna say what it's about. Of course, I always tell you what it's about after I say that, but it's, so basically, I mean, the spoiler alert, I mean, his wife screwed, Ben Johnson's in this. Ben Johnson is like the big head honcho guy, and he his wife screws, I think, Ben Johnson to get him out of jail and out of prison, and as soon as he gets out of prison, he's like gonna do this, I don't know why he goes and does like a bank robbery right after he gets out of prison. I don't quite understand that. Maybe he's just a born bank robber. Yeah, well, I don't understand that. Wouldn't you want to, like, because he's like, it affects you in there, wouldn't you want to, like, try to stay out of prison once you just get out of prison and didn't enjoy it? So I don't quite understand why, as soon as he gets out of prison, he's going to do this. Maybe it was a part, you know what, it might have been a part of terms of his release. I bet Ben Johnson is like, okay, I got you out, now I need you to do this job for me. And of course, Ben Johnson's just classic, and he was also previously in, The Wild Bunch. That was done by Sam Peckinpah as well, and he'd later go on to be in Terror Train, which I've already reviewed. So, I mean, it's just got this great corny-ass 1972 music and stuff, and, shit, I just looked up her name online, and I probably forgot it already. If I get the name wrong, I'll put the correct name down here, but it's got Sally Struthers. I think it's Sally Struthers. Who back in like 1972 was pretty good. Like I remember seeing her like in the 90s or something on TV asking for money on ads back when I occasionally used to, I don't know, have the TV on for whatever reason. But I think for a while she was on, commercials asking for, please give to the charity, and 1% of it will go to the kids, but we're not going to tell you that. But anyway, seeing her in those commercials, she's like chubby or whatever, you're like, oh gosh, But then I was surprised when I saw her in this movie in '72, because she's kind of like a sex pot in '72, So that's kind of cool. And this guy, this bad guy that they went on the heist goes wrong to steal this bank. It goes wrong, and this bad guy that he ends up pretty much doing cat and mouse with for the whole movie is really kind of a creepy bad guy, and he ends up going to he gets shot by Steve McQueen, and he ends up going to this vet. That's where Sally Struthers got a husband with this, married to this vet, and they take them on the road, and he makes the vet, is kind of just this, I don't know, inept guy, makes the vet fix him up, and he takes him on the road, and he ends up just screwing his wife, and his wife ends up joining him, and Harold, I think is the vet's name, ends up hanging himself, I think, in the bathroom. But anyway, maybe 3.5, probably 3.5 stars for The Getaway, 1972. It's got some, pretty cool action, and it's just like, it's pretty much badass Steve McQueen kind of stuff, and Ally McGraw's, I guess, I guess she's cute, but she's a little, I don't know, skinny, I guess, for my taste. Personally, I prefer a little more meat on my women, personally, but, I'd date her. If as her in if she were that, I'd date her in well, I wasn't even alive, and I think you know what I mean, like, if she was the age she was then now, and she asked me out, I'd say yes. I'm not going to date her now, her being however old she is. So, even if she asked me. So, 3.5 stars for The Getaway, 1972. It's on Blu-ray. I have the Blu-ray, and I think the Blu-ray's, more or less fine. It's got a little bit part by Slim Pickens at the end when they get away, and hence the title. when they get away and Slim Pickens at the end, and it's like it's got this. It's like I say, I think it's shot in Texas or something, so it's got, throughout the course of the movie, really, it's like a really warm movie. It looks all warm and got that Texas stuff going for it, and pretty cool. It's like I say, it's on Blu-ray. Check it out if you like. The Getaway. Thanks for watching.